Benchmark 5, demonstration of learning. All right, so benchmark 5, you're going to need a Google slideshow, very similar to this. You need to figure out your themes. You can get your themes this way. You can add some themes. You could do something, but it's got to be interesting. It's got to be look good. So that's where you get the people together who are sharp. So slideshow. Let's go through it. Essential question. Everyone is going to be dealing with the essential question: a lack of equity in terms of material and outcomes for urban students of Latin, not seen in the public or private schools. Most specifically for us, you'll notice on the spreadsheet under Brigade 5, there's a DOL that lists comparable schools, urban schools, Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Los Angeles, and how many years of Latin they have. So, just an idea. And how would we address these issues of inequity? Because remember, if everybody's taking Latin in their fifth and sixth year, or even their fourth, those textbooks are designed for students in the fourth and beyond. So remember, the key of equity, however you take it, comparison of one school, ours, and others, namely in terms of what year the AP is reached. And ours is the third, everybody else much, much, much more. Therefore, this gives you the argument of why you needed to write a textbook and why we needed to write a textbook and what that textbook has, and especially the online resources. Now, how do you address these inequities? What can we do about it? Like I said, one person needs to have their error analysis shown out. We need to print that up, bind it. That's a big part of it to focus on improvement. I'll be getting you stats on National Latin exam soon enough, but I don't want everybody's presentation looking exactly alike. And then, of course, the focus on the AP exam and the textbook necessary for what we're doing, hence the need. All right, ideas for exploration. Take one of these, take more. Latin, the great equalizer, Latin's functionality for you. The NLE gives national recognition, how you got there with their analysis, Ohio Seal of Biliteracy, and your personal and career aspirations. You don't have to cover all these. These are just different aspects and angles you could take. Remember, everyone has a part, and you need to demonstrate what you learned. Demonstrate how each part went through. Textual group, the lexical group. This includes the programming as well. I'll be making that available. Morphosyntactic group, for example. In other words, the commentary, how you pulled the commentary stuff out. And now Pliny group, each person took a different book, so that's a different approach. Because Pliny, we didn't have enough commentaries out there to really do a concatenation. That commentary you have is basically Reverend Greg's work that you've added on to with all of your questions. Now, charts and graphs are going to be important. Let me show you how to make charts and graphs come alive. So here we go, Brigade 5 demonstrational learning. Now, these are the evidence you need. And I looked at these comparable schools, Philadelphia Boys School, Washington Latin, etc. And I'm going to highlight this, as you can see, and I'm going to go down over here where it says chart, or you could just insert chart. And it's going to give you a chart, okay, for whatever it is. Now, that's a pretty good chart. That's a pretty colorful one. I kind of like it. You could click on each of these and you could change the color to something more exciting. I think maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. Let's see if it goes here. See if there. See if that makes a difference. Well, then they're all the same color. Okay, so a possibility. You can customize it to however you want, uh, as you see fit. So could you make these different colors? You could, your choice. Now, how do you get this chart into your Google slideshow? Well, you click on it, you copy the chart, you go over to your slideshow where you want to put the slide, you create a new slide. If you hit this down arrow, you can make it actually blank. And then how do you paste? Control V. Link to spreadsheet or paste on link for fun. And there you go. That's one of the arguments that you could make regarding when you need to get to Latin, why you need a textbook that's different. Some things, we'll talk about those later. Now, let's say you wanted a more complex chart. And let me delete this chart. Here's another one. Here's a demographic. Like say I looked at these comparable schools which are urban versus suburban, and I created a chart listing their race demographics. Now, you can also do it with income. You can do it with tuition. So I take this chart, and I'm going to have a multi-level. So this is going to be fun. And this is where you're going to have to pick the chart that works. Now, that chart breaks up the schools kind of nicely. Cleveland School shows the various colors and everything else. With this, you can change the color if you'd like. For black, let's go to purple. Let's click on purple. That's prettier. For white, we could pick on a nice burgundy. That's good, except, you want to make sure it looks good or whatever you want. Now, if you want to change the title of it, you would just simply change the title to demographics, right? That would be perfectly acceptable. You can do that. There's lots of different charts you can do. You can set up as a column chart, stacked, which is really hard to figure out. That just shows racial components of the various schools. And that's kind of okay. It shows where our percentages are. That you could do it this way as well. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. And you can still click on these and change the color to make it more pretty, I guess you could, if you wanted to. Whatever. Whatever works with your style. Same idea for adding to it. So you need at least, I would say, 2 charts. One chart that shows the level of Latin that's offered, and the other chart to show the demographics. Now, last things to think about for your presentation. Remember, the presentation is just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes is that everybody should be able to present. Don't have just one presenter who is like, oh, this person is sick, therefore we can't present. Doesn't work that way. You got to be able to step into it, right? You got to step into it. So this is the data. You should have data. You should talk about the benefits. Oh, we should talk about the benefits of and these are just, remember, when I talk about the benefits of the commentary and the stuff you did with the spreadsheets and the online assessments, which are now up to 2,000. And that's pretty good. Why is that pretty good? Well, the AP College Board for the Latin AP Classroom only has about 400 assessments. So we're pretty good. And yeah, I know you got to do some snooping to get some of this data. We're not expecting it to be perfect, sort of. Well, but we do want you to show off the best. All right, here we go. Here are some of the differences that you would have to have for your presentation, that they should come out. You should be able to deal with anyone who says, why do we need this textbook? Well, this textbook is what's different about it. It's designed for the 3rd year. It's got explicit grammatical and translation analysis. Also important is we pulled in a lot of commentaries that are designed for the college level, and we're making that accessible to high school students. And of course, we have the online assessment items, the 2,000 items, and all the games that go into it so that we can play with hybrid learning, right? Blended learning, and that we have the ability to practice. So that's your presentation, what's going to look like on what day is that? On Thursday. 5 minutes, 5 minute critique. And then we're also going to pose questions to think about because you want to not just have a long presentation. You never want to read from a slideshow. You want to have also a lot of images as well. So just a thought. I know this is new, and I know it's so much easier doing a poster, but a Google show, PowerPoint for the big league, that's really the stuff that you're going to need in life in any presentation. All right, so there it is, Benchmark 5 in all its glorious detail, and I'm going to be seeing them on Thursday. So get together with your groups, figure it out.